What is up, book nerds? We are doing an NFL tier list. This is a sequel to a video I made about 8 months ago. I'm starting to run out of ideas, and I haven't given my thoughts on all these teams as a whole, comparative to one another. So let's hop into this. Number 1, Houston Texans. S tier. This is my Super Bowl pick right now. This team, I have a lot of faith in them. I hope I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid too much, but I have a lot of faith in CJ Stroud on this team. And coincidentally, right next to them are the Detroit Lions, who I think they'll be facing. I think the Lions are due for some more success. They were so close going to the Super Bowl last year. I think this is their year to finally make the big dance. Now we have a team that's not so good, Panthers. They got Dave Canales, which I think will help out Bryce Young a lot, but this team just does not have a lot that makes me feel great about them. Next, how about Kansas City Chiefs? S tier. They're the Chiefs. At this point, I think they're guaranteed at least a spot in the AFC Championship spot. They're at least guaranteed a playoff win. Next off, I think I will go with the Packers into A tier. I think this is a good team. They'll make a deep playoff run, but I don't see them making the Super Bowl. I don't see them as good as the S. They'd be like top of A tier, but they're not exactly S tier. But a team that is Ravens. This team is who I think will be the best in the regular season. Their run game, I think, will be unstoppable. And that is a huge factor. Plus, their defense is still pretty good, even though they lost Patrick Queen. Who else do we have here? It's the Saints. I'll put them in C tier. Average, dabberish season. Not really anything awe-inspiring or anything. Well, I'll put the Cowboys in top of B tier. This team, they're not doing much for me. They're good in the regular season. I think they'll win their division, but other than that, there's not a lot to be excited about. So I'll put the Colts in the C tier with the Saints. This team is intriguing. I am very excited to see Anthony Richardson play, but I don't think they'll be able to go head-to-head with a lot of their competition in the NFC South. Let's see, who else do we have here? I think I could put Falcons. I haven't decided. C or D tier. Well, I guess C tier works. They're slightly worse than the two of them, which may seem a little crazy. Watch the Atlanta Falcons video and you'll understand. Then we have our final S tier. San Francisco 49ers. This team is going to make the NFC Championship. They're probably the best roster in the league, one of the best coaches in the league, but they just can't help but get in their own way. Steelers, B tier. Think that is pretty fitting for them. They're probably I don't know if they're going to make the postseason or not, but they will make a push at it. They're going to have a winning season as always, but nothing to write home about. So I'm also going to put the Bills in A tier. This team I see this team making a bit of a postseason push. I don't know how far they'll go because they haven't been able to make it far in the past. But who knows? Let's see, who else we got here in bad? Okay, my Giants. Not great. This roster needs a whole big old overhaul. We had that pipe dream 2 seasons ago. I don't think that we're going to be able to capture that magic again for a while now. Raiders, I think I'll also put them in F tier 2. This team just doesn't do it for me. Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, for me, carried this team, in my opinion. They are pushing a lot for them to even get this far, because other than that, there's not really much to be excited about, though I think Gardner Mitchell will do all right. Dolphins, I'll put him in B tier. This team is very all right. I think they'll do really well in the regular season. I think they have arguably one of the best offenses, but they just can't win in the postseason. They can't win in the cold. They can't win under pressure. And these are all big red flags if you want a deep playoff run. See, keeping on track with the B tier. How about let's go Philadelphia Eagles? This team going to make it to the postseason. Not going to do much there. I think they have a very similar season to last season, which could mean some turnover at the coaching position. Next, Patriots. F tier. This team just does not have a lot of good on that roster. Their coach is brand new, so I don't know what to think about him. Who else we got here? Bengals. I'll put them in A tier. I think this team could be quite electric. They did great a couple seasons back, and I think they could be a sleeper pick, which feels weird to say because the team was so good a while back. But I think they have lost a couple people, and we don't know how Joe Burrow's injury will impact them. But I don't think it'll do too much. I think they're still a great team. Who else do we got here? I realize that D tier is empty, so I guess I'll throw the Broncos in D tier. I don't think they'll be as bad as people say, but they're not going to be good. I think they're just slightly better than the teams below them. I don't know if they'll bottom out the division. For now, I'll say that they won't. My opinion changes on them quite a bit. Who else we got here? Let's put the Browns in C tier. I think they'll be disappointing. Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he's going to do great. So I'll put them in C tier. Their defense is going to be big this season. Who else we got here? Commanders. I'll throw them in the D tier. Not impressive by any means. This team just does not do much for me. Jaden Daniels could be good. Maybe if he's electric, if he's the next Lamar Jackson, this team could be good, but I don't see much else. Bucks. I think they could be a B tier, maybe even A tier team. I'm thinking about this team may need some movement. So, This is interesting. What do I want to put? See, this is like S tier. I think will be like Super Bowl / AFC Championship. A tier means you'll probably make the divisional in that case. I think the Bucks may be A tier. I think they could easily get that playoff win. A lot of people are saying that they'll fall off without Dave Canales. I think Baker Mayfield will still be good, even without Canales calling plays for him. That may be a blunder on my side. I don't remember from my coordinator's tier list if Canales was a play caller. Well, that was my play caller tier list. Check that out. But Dave Canales will hurt them, but I think they'll still be good. I think for my last, I'll put the Cardinals in F tier. I know Kyler Murray's back, and I think this team will do good, but I just don't have a lot of faith in this team. This is not a team maybe just because the roster just doesn't scream out anything to me. They're not especially great at anything. Their coach hasn't done anything special except for his work in Philadelphia, which he did do great work there. I just don't know if that's enough to propel him into the upper echelon of what could be. And I think I'm going to put the Titans in C tier. This is like the barely missing the playoffs club. They may even sneak into it, but I think that they won't. So I'll throw them in here. I think I may also throw the Jags in here as well. Since both of these teams, they'll bubble under. Their quarterbacks will be all right. Trevor Lawrence best show that he is worth that contract. And Will Levis will be good. The Mayo Man, love it or hate it, he'll be all right. Yeah. What else we have? This will be polarizing with the Jets. I think they'll find a way to get in their own way. The Jets have historically found a way to get in their own way. I just do not feel good about this team. Like, this team is way too talented. 7-10, maybe that's even a little bit harsh for them. But I think they could easily go 7-10 again. This team could easily underperform again. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's injured, he's old. I think he could be washed. That's a big fear of mine. He could be washed. And the B tier, I'll go the Seahawks. I think this team is definitely overhated. I think Geno Smith has at least something in the tank. He may fall off. He may be worse than Rodgers, but I think the Seahawks. The more I think about it, the less good they get. So I'll put them down here, and maybe I'll boost up the Titans a spot. This feels weird to say. Nah, C tier I think will work for them. This team, not really that impressive in any means. But they are young. They have a lot of young talent that I think could do a lot of damage. I think they will at least have a winning record. I think Rams B tier. This team, electric offense, electric defense. So good in so many ways. This team, I think they get scare the Bucks a bit for the NFC West, but I think not the Bucks, the Niners for the West. I think the Niners will still take it. Let's see who else we got left. Chargers, Bears, Vikings. Ironically, the three teams in my prediction thumbnail from last year. The Bears last year I was saying 7-10. This year I'm not as a big believer. I think they are C tier, maybe bottom of C tier, so top of D tier. I just don't have faith in Eberflus. He hasn't done anything. This offense is way too good, but it's just I don't think they're better than any of the teams above them. So put them there. Vikings, I'll put them right next to them. They got Jay Jettas. They got Kevin O'Connell. That this team has so much talent. They were so close with Kirk Cousins. If J.J. McCarthy is able to trouble Kirk Cousins, this team could easily be A tier. But this is a team that has continued to go in their own way. I think this year may be a rough year. I think they could be one or two injuries away from being in the crap house. And finally, Chargers. I think I'll also put them in D tier. Let's see. Let's do a bit of movement. Well, first let's talk about the Chargers, then we'll do a bit of movement. Since Chargers, Justin Herbert has, I think, the best arm. Just his arm is the best in the league. But his team, his supporting cast, like, they have wasted so much of this man's prime. Like, think about how good he could have been if it wasn't for Brandon Staley constantly being a screw up, if their defense wasn't flawed every year in, year out. He lost both his receivers. He got Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey, who I think Ladd McConkey will be good. I think if Quentin Johnston just doesn't get in the way, I think they could be good. So I want to move this to this round a bit. I think S tier is good. I think this is good. I do want to I think C tier is a little crowded. Who do I think is the best team in C tier? Yes, I'll say the Jags is the best team in C tier. Trevor Lawrence, best play worth that contract. Because bro needs to play like that guy, play like his contract's worth. And yeah, that's good. That's good. Which I may make another movement. I'll move the Eagles up to S tier, and then I can also move the Titans up. Do I want to even move them 1, 2, 3, 4? I think I'm doing a little bit more upward mobility. Who I think is the best team in D tier? So I'm going to look to C tier. And then I'll move the Titans up to B tier. And then I'll move. No, I think this is good. I think this is. I can call this a tier list. Since Titans and Jags, similar teams. I hate though that the Colts are bottoming out. No, I think the Titans go back down. Call that my tier list. If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to do that tier list. I have an affiliate link, so please use that. I'll use it in the comments down below and show you. If you want to buy anything off of Amazon, it helps me out a lot. See you in the next one. Peace.